Majestic Shots getting a gap between them, running on. It's the face wandering from Ghost Bottom. Blondo's getting a rails run. Blondo and Ghost Bottom. Blondo, Ghost Bottom. Blondo wins the takeover target.
Welcome to Bet Doctor, behind the curtain look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host Scoot. I've got John Walter in the chair with me. How are you, mate? You look like you've seen a ghost.
Still recovering, mate. I don't know how they did I did the 3 days last year at Warrnambool, but it's still taken me a week to get back from that 1 day outing, and not really a lot happened. So I'm glad I didn't do the 3. I might have been absolutely cast. So
yeah, quite a week back up here at the Gold Coast, and a little bit of a mental health retreat, it feels like. So if you missed all the action, we got 50% of the stake back. It was a battle zone. The jockeys didn't know what to do. They were up the fence, up the middle of the track, on the outside fence. It was sort of a cow paddock. Or that's
you talking about New South Wales racing for the last 6 months, or are you talking about Warrnambool for 2 days? Yeah.
No, Warrnambool for 3 days. I can't remember a track that at the Bull that has played like that. Usually it's fence off, and they all just start to skip off at 3 or 4, and it just they continually move to the outside fence. But it was all over the shop. It was a dog's breakfast. But we tried to launch at a couple. We kept hammering our best bets. The market was with us for a lot of the same sort of horses. Your horse, King of Hastings. I think Showmanship was probably the only one that we sort of went hard against the market and just tried to keep upping our price once it drifted. So it was a tricky one. It's always a tricky one. Do we chip away and try and win 5% on an investment over 3 days, or more like we did, we tried to take a multi to win a million on the final day. It didn't work out, and then we had several horses going for 150 to 200, and we just couldn't hit the scoreboard like a lot of punters over the 3 days. But it was tough going. Nico, how have you pulled up from last week? You had a lot on your plate.
Yeah, there was a bit going on, but good day at Sandown yesterday. So looking to rip into Saturday's form for Flemington. One Friday night for the punters at Cranbourne. So yeah, looking forward to the weekend.
Friday night seems to be your new thing, doesn't it?
You could say that, but yeah, Friday night Cranbourne will be me this Friday night.
DK, you got a pulse?
Barely.
What's happened?
I'll have one of those mental health retreats you were talking about. I think that might be my go. Only bloke going worse than me is Poy. Anyway, here I am again.
What do you think about the Poy suspension? 2 months. Do you reckon it's his right whack? If I owned the leader, the $4 chance that he fizzed up and cost it the race, clearly, I'd be happy with the 2 month suspension, but it's hard to line up against other suspensions, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it was between 1 and 2 was the right answer. 2 might have been a bit heavy, but he just hasn't looked. He's picked up the ride, hasn't looked at the race book, hasn't looked at anything, and tootled round to the barriers and thought, oh, this is a 1,200 metre start, must be a 1,200 metre race. But funnily enough, friend of my dad's owned the winner. And I was up with Mum and Dad for lunch, and he was around for lunch there a couple of weeks ago. He said, my horse was in a 2,000 benchmark, 58 at Mornington. And it was one of the slowest. It was really slow horse. I said, geez, I don't know what the race that's going to win, maybe a 2 mile something anyway. And because that horse has gone berserk, their horse was the beneficiary. He's just gone his one bat and just sustained his one bat as they went out 20 lengths above standard in that race and got the money. So anyway, a bit of self-interest there. But yeah, no, I think I heard Reece Archard the Archers were completely filthy, and yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I thought maybe 6 weeks was probably right. And he might get it pulled back to 6 weeks, but 2 months didn't seem too harsh to me.
Up there in North Korea, Johnny, we've had Hugh Bowman get rubbed out for dangerous riding before last season, and then you had Nash up the fence, nearly went over the fence.
Oh, he got longer for hitting it 2 more times than normal than he got for nearly killing everyone. So. Consistency's the problem. Like, you just don't know. Like, and I don't understand. Okay, you sit up on one, it gets beat, so it costs it first to second. You might get 2 months. You might get a huge fine. You do the same thing. You cost it second to third. You get a $500 fine or something. Or you might get 7 days. It's the same thing. Like, it just doesn't. It's just logic in racing, and it seems to be more about perception. And once again, because it got the headlines Poy for doing it, and it's everywhere, they seem like they have to give him the pointy end of the stick rather than the pat on the bum with the wooden spoon. So I think, it's all about perception. And even if they go and reduce it like they did with Nash, it's sort of done behind closed doors and doesn't make the headlines. But publicly, they smashed them up front, and that's all they want to see. So that's what
he's ruined the race for a lot of connections, a lot of horses. It's just not like just affected one horse or one horse is affected in the result. He's ruined the race for a huge lot of people. Everyone who's bet on it, everyone who's had horses in the race. I did say except the winner, of course, but The rest of them, I mean, it's just put a pen through every horse that went to that race.
Yeah, and he's got to get done. But I just mean it's very hard to tell what to give people for anything because it's so inconsistent. You know, it depends what day it happens. If something happens on a Monday or a Tuesday, you tend to get off lighter than if it's, you know, in the headlines and these sorts of things. Like when Reece did the same thing, they obviously make headlines around the world because they're so ridiculous that they have to get whacked. But I agree, he has to get a good
He's
whack.
the one big beneficiary out of it. McLeod, he'll be happy about it. He's the one bloke who would be happy. Well, not, you know, unless he's good mates with him, Poy. Now I'm off the hook. Everyone won't keep referring to me about mistaking the laps.
It's a funny one, isn't it? Like, because he properly got up it and fizzed the horse up rather than maybe like a tearaway leader that breaks their hearts. Anyway, it's a good week to put behind us, and I'm sure M. Poy would like to put the week behind him as well. We've got a bit of a treat for everyone at home. We've got a brand new train on the scene up here in Brisvegas. We've got Jack Bruce. He joins us. How are you, Jack?
Not bad, guys, and thanks very much for having me.
Sounds like a Kiwi accent we got there, but Jack cut his teeth at Ma Eustace and Bjorn Baker's camp. Give us, I guess, the audience at home an intro, a quick spiel of how you got to where you are.
Yeah, so don't hold that against me that I'm a Kiwi, but I am a proud Kiwi, and I'm finding up in Brisbane and Queensland, it's better to be a Kiwi than a Sydney-sider. So I don't know how I'm going to play that, but look, I grew up on stud farms in New Zealand, and then I spent 5 years with Bjorn Baker as his right-hand man. I did a couple of years with Kieran Maher running his Sydney stable, which was a great opportunity for me. And I got that because Annabelle Neesham went training and she sort of recommended me for the role. So I had an awesome run with them, but I thought the time was right. I'm sort of in my early 30s and I'm looking to sort of get on with life. So I wanted to make an impact, and I basically picked out Brisbane as a place in the metro racing where there was room for an up-and-comer, and I sort of consider myself that. So here I am.
Well, I just want to talk about his time with Bjorn Baker. I mean, the only time I see Bjorn Baker is on social media when he's going off his head when one of his horses is winning. So he looked like be a great bloke to work for. And I mean, you know, you might have left for different reasons or whatnot. But can you tell us about that, Jack?
I can't wait for this answer.
I don't tell you that a blue, did I?
I had a great, no, we didn't have a blue. I got off another role and I'd sort of felt like I had to take it at the time. But what I will say is that Bjorn, like, what you see is what you get. And like, he is great fun. And his old motto used to be with me, especially when we're at the races, is if you are not having a good time and you can't enjoy yourself, there's no point in doing this. And that rubs off on A, his horses, B, his staff, and C, his owners. So, you know, he is an affable bloke, and he's great to work for, and I had a good run there.
I hear, you know, the role that you left Bjorn Baker for seems to be left off the resume. Have you signed an NDS there or something that you're not allowed to talk about your interim period at the Waller stables? Or
I wanted to just truncate that for everyone because I didn't want to bore them to death. But anyway, no, I was when Liam Pryor went to manage jockeys. He'd been Chris Willer's racing manager for almost a decade. So I was offered that role, which naturally I felt like I had to take, and I was sort of torn between it. I actually talked about it a bit with Bjorn before I went there. But no, I took that role and I did that for a year, but that was cut short by Annabelle going training and me being offered the job with Kieran Maher and David Eustace. So basically the progression there was, if you're in a fairly narrow role at a large organisation, going to Kieran Maher's was an opportunity to sort of do the whole shooting box and run a stable of 60 horses in Sydney. So, I mean, in terms of if you're putting my hat on and saying I want to be a trainer, that was the big opportunity for me.
And I think Annabelle's just hit the ground running, and it's an interesting choice, I guess, Brisbane for you. You got Michael Costa, I guess, leaving the ranks at the Gold Coast. I think Annabelle's going to get some of his horses, but Deegan's an interesting choice. Sean Dwyer had a lot of success a long time ago there, but I guess why Deegan for you?
Well, it's interesting because my focus was to be in the metropolitan area in Brisbane because I would like to grow my business, and I see that that's where essentially the prize money is, and that's where the ownership base is, and that's where I wanted to be. So the Brisbane Racing Club run Deegan, and they basically told me that, you know, the no vacancy sign is up at Eagle Farm. We've got our premier trainers there, but we can give you boxes at Deegan. You're right next to the beach. You got a brand new sand track that costs $1.5 million, and of course, property use essentially whenever you want. So if you're prepared to go there and set up and start, we'll happily have you. So I suppose in my position, I jumped at that, and I thought if I can make it work there, which I'm fairly confident I can, then away I go. So it is a lovely, quiet place to train, and you get plenty of access to the right facilities. So it's not, I suppose, doesn't have the prestige of Eagle Farm, but at the same time, the facilities match, and I think it'll be a good place to be.
I don't mind the beach angle with tried horses, and I thought about that. Like, Eagle Farm has had its trials and tribulations with the surface, Walt. Like, apart from someone like Gollum, how many trainers would you send a horse to at Eagle Farm? There's a query over the track for mine.
There is, and like it's the facilities where Jack's going are good. I'm sure he has aspirations to end up somewhere like Eagle Farm or Doomben or whatever. I don't know how they're sort of unfolding their regeneration of that area, but certainly, worse places to kick off and probably giving him some shameless plugging here, Jack. Like when I wasn't, blackballed from the industry and the dark sheep, I did used to deal with Jack on an almost daily basis. Him and his lunatic mate Bjorn, and then Wallers and Mars, and I think the grounding that Jack's got is pretty unique, and you can see I would say that he's a level above probably Annabelle when I was sort of dealing with them as in across horses and the industry, and he sort of did the time with Bjorn, learn about owner experience. Bjorn would have been sort of very hectic, very hands-on on a lot of things and long, long days, long nights, long weekends. I don't think Jack would have got much time off. Then he sort of moved to the Waller part where everything's very organised and sterile, and then, moving more into the hands-on training with Mara. I don't think there'd be many more hungry and well-experienced youngish trainers that you'll have a better experience with than Jack around, and what, the way he's kind of trying to find horses to drop back in grade probably up to Brisbane and get them going straight away. I would be sort of pushing anyone that's looking to get into racing in southeast Queensland or anywhere. They'll have fun with Jack. I'll be very surprised if he doesn't kick on. We'll put some pressure on him early. We'll put the mock on him and see if he can push through it.
Do you guys want to just continue the rest of the show without us?
Mate, I've been pushing people into him for a few weeks, and I didn't know he was coming on, did I? I was not organised, so I'm really happy that he's on here because there's not too many people that I've dealt with that are very consistent in how they approach everything. And you imagine working for Bjorn, he's a special character. Waller, special character. Mara, I don't know at all, right? But I never went through a day, and I feel like I'm kissing his ass heavily, where Jack wasn't, happy and could deal. We never had any dramas, so I'd imagine he'll pass the same experience on to his owners.
And I guess for me, I had my eye on Axe at the Inglis digital sale, and I thought that was a horse that could just bob up and pinch a couple of races. And I see who bought it, and it was Jack Bruce Racing. So I thought that was a good acquisition from the Michael Costa yard, and I thought, oh, well, here we go. And I started to do a little bit of digging, and it just seems like the perfect timing to come to Queensland for a bit of a step into it.
There's a lot that come here to retire, right? And there's a lot that are on the way out to a certain degree, like guys that have been here for a long time. And, you do have Golan and Van Dyke ducks down with a few and things, but there's not too many that are hungry and on the way up. And I think he's made a good decision to get away from Sydney and move up here.
Jeez, I tell you what, Walt bags everyone. So you're doing something right.
I do.
When will your first runner hit the track?
Well, I would have liked it to have been quite soon, but the weather's sort of playing havoc with me. I got a horse off Michael Costa that he recommended the owners that they send my way called Zetastar. And anyway, he basically said, I'll get it ready for you, and I'm really looking forward to the post-race interview. So it was going to run in a maiden on Wednesday, but the track was wet and I scratched it. So I'm just going to have to wait a little bit. I've been given a stayer called Berade from OTI, who I may run over the Carnival in an 1,800-metre race and look to sort of Ipswich Cup, Caloundra Cup. So I would say those two will be my first runners. I'm working 12 at the moment, and most of them have come from basically the spelling paddock. So I would say it will be a fairly easy start, but they will be my two, and fingers crossed I can hit the ground running.
I think I've backed Berade in the past. What about horses right now? I know Axe is sold out, but is there any shares in any horses at the moment, or did you pick one up yesterday? I had a look at a couple, but the prices just were sky high on a few of them.
Yeah, well, actually, I felt a bit like you guys punting at Warrnambool. I had a bit of I sort of couldn't get it right there yesterday, but I made the decision that, I don't want to pay overs for them. Like I paid $55,000 for Axe, and I paid $80,000 for a horse called Matawatapi that Björn used to train and had to sort of sell for, I suppose, different reasons. So he tipped me into that, and I was able to get it. So I've still got a little bit of him left to sell. I didn't go into them yesterday. I thought they were making too much money. I don't think it was good enough value for everybody, so I've stayed out of them. But I've still got some of Matawatapi, who's won on a Saturday in Sydney. He's rated 84. Like, he's the perfect horse to run in Queensland. He can go straight into Saturday races, and that's essentially the level I want to be racing at, and that's the level I want to put people into. So that's why I bought him.
All right, with a couple of those horses mentioned, tipping they'll pick off a couple of races. Any questions from DK or Nico down there? I know Walt's stolen the show a bit here.
Oh, good move, pass, but I just see if I speak, listening to Jack Dan, crossing the I's and dotting the, or whatever it is, crossing the T's, dotting the I's. But he's spoken to Costa about Axe. He's spoken to Bjorn about the other one he's bought. You know, he's got plans for them. He's put it. You know, he's just not buying them on a whim. It sounds like he's heading in the right direction to me.
Yeah, just looking at the horses on offer, there's nothing left in her, but has Cherry Pick made the way to the stable yet, Jack? She's
Cherry Pick,
a horse that I've had a bit of time to deal with down in Melbourne, sort of looking at her in the yard, and she is a very nice type. She'd be
Moody,
one of the best types in the stable, I would have thought.
Yeah, Peter Moody. So there's none left in her. I sold her. She was actually the very first horse I bought, and I was talking to Rob Crabtree about various things through my role at Karen, and I'd sort of told him that, you know, I was going to go out training on my own account, and he said to me, well, I've got the perfect horse for you. The stallion's no longer with us. He said, I bred the mare and she died foaling. So from a breeding point of view, she has no interest to me, but she's a metro horse and I need to make way for my young ones. So he said, if you buy her, you'll win plenty up in Queensland. So anyway, I think I had to wait about a month for it to come online on English Digital. But when it did, I bought her, and yeah, she's in the stable. She just started galloping now. So she will be at the races, I would say, in July, and hopefully she can do us proud.
Outstanding. Walt?
No, that's it. No,
it's
a good idea. I think targeting those like Matau Takbi is a perfect sort of horse, adaptable horse that'll just go, you know, get up to 1,400 and give him something to chase around Eagle Farm and Doomben. He's targeting the right horses. Go, Jack. Go. Oh, number one. I've got to be number one in the fan club now.
Well, might as well ask him while he's there. I mean, there's this absolute juggernaut, you know, everywhere, particularly down here. I was having a look at the Victorian Premiership down here. He's had nearly double more runners than, like, he's number one. He's had 1,009 runners. Mick Price is second on the Premiership, 541. Double the amount of winners, 221. Mick Price, 105. 17 million in prize money versus 7 million in prize money. That's just down here. So I've known Kieran a long time. I met him when he was a young bloke we're in Dubai on a holiday. I actually sat next to him at dinner one night. I had Kieran Maher on one side of me and Kay McAvoy on the other. When Kay McAvoy was over there, you know, I was just taken by how nice people they were. But just what stands out to you about Kieran, Jack, and, you know, and why he's so successful?
Well, I would say two things: work ethic, right? Massive worker, gets stuff done. Second is he's a horseman first and foremost, and that's what he focuses on. So I think people often ask with those large stables, you know, how do these guys do it and train so many horses? But Kieran is only interested with his equine, you know, his stable, and he's constantly talking to you about those things. And anything peripheral to the running of the stable, he's more than happy to, I suppose, slip those key guys in the regime a little bit of rein. So I suppose I'm one of the big beneficiaries of that, because I essentially got to, you know, run the racing stable there at Warwick Farm. But if you ever have a question about a horse, all he wants to do is talk about his horses, ask you about his horses, pick your brains about his horses. And I can remember there was a horse called Bruckner. It actually ran second in the Cornwall Home Affairs, but when it was in Sydney before it went down, I asked him about it one day, and I said, I'm just struggling a little bit with him, and I just need to change his gear and do that and that. He's still a bit keen. Anyway, it was 8 o'clock at night at the Canterbury night races when I was talking to him, and I saw him at 4 o'clock the next day. He said, I'll come up and watch him work, and he's galloping tomorrow, have a look at him, and we'll trot him up together. So it's that work ethic and focus on his horses that I suppose is the reason why he is just so incredibly successful. And he's happy to let his staff, I suppose, take the reins in terms of those other peripheral tasks. And that's how he does it. Like, he's unbelievable. He won 4 feature races at the Sydney Autumn Carnival. This carnival, and I suppose, you know, there's a lot of races you probably don't even notice, but for a bloke whose main base is in Melbourne, it's a pretty good effort to come to Sydney and win 4 of the big ones.
I like that he's not too flashy everywhere, like in the post-race, but the one he got emotional about, the first time I've seen him get emotional, I don't watch too much Melbourne racing, was
the jump, Grand.
Yeah,
the jump.
So,
loves the jump.
You can see that it's not the accolades, or it's the horse. So
yeah, he loves his jumpers. He loves his jumpers, and I learned actually a little bit about jumps racing that I didn't think I would working for him. But yeah, he loves his jumpers, loves his stayers. That's how he cut his teeth. So
mate, you've trained a few hurdlers. They just didn't get over the sticks.
Yeah, I had a few that were slow that went down there. Yeah, exactly. I didn't have the pleasure of preparing them over the jump.
Outstanding. All right, if we can find a horse, we might both stay off it, and we might try and sneak one at English Digital, and hopefully we can tip a couple of owners or something your way, or we'll give you a shout out if you need to move on. But Matawa Takape, I think that'll do.
Matawa, that'll do. It means running bear and red Indian. That's what the bloke named tells me. There you go. Yeah.
If you want one to run instantly, that's the horse for you. But as Nico's pointed out, and Walt, he's found a couple that are ready to roll. So jackbruceracing.com.au. But I think that's the best way to get in touch with you. Drop your line on the website.
Yeah, 100%. Drop me a line on my website. My phone number's on there. If anyone wants to give me a buzz and have a chat, I'm sort of more than happy to help and talk people through it. That's my plan.
I'll send you through my BSB and account details for the shameless plug later, man. I'll talk to you later.
Thanks so much, guys.
All right. Hopefully Zadastar or Brad can pop his cherry up in Brisbane, but that was Jack Bruce, and fantastic that he joined us on Bet Doctor. Well, Walt, I've never seen you gush like that apart from the Josh Giddey event on Saturday night when he signed 4 of your trading cards.
I had to crash tackle him, had to send you in, and then you weren't going to get it done, so we had to go there, and then we had to get that was a good night. It was a good night, and it was good to see another humble sort of guy that seems like he's going to kick on without too many airs and graces about him. Hopefully he remains that way rather than a few other NBA, Ben Simmons types. So anyway, it was good fun.
Josh Giddey's going to own the Australian market, and it's like his highlight package is just unbelievable. So I was a bit surprised. I probably wasn't as starstruck as you were, but I was impressed by the way he spoke. And
yeah, that was the most impressive part, wasn't it? Yeah,
he reminds me of a bit like DK. The more people want to see him fail, the more angry, and the more he just uses it as steam for his engine.
Oh,
he's unbelievable.
What about 10 o'clock Wednesday nights, Thursday night, Scooty? It's tomorrow. Walt was sitting across from me and going, Gillo, and what's he doing? I was just hammering. I've had to give myself a spell from Twitter after that. I was having to go through my tweets and replies from Thursday night. Jeepers.
Do you think it was the mixing in the lineup of the beverages that may have got you to that position? Or was it the trolls?
Through it. It was 7. I started with the Shiraz gin. I was drinking that here, Nico.
Yep.
And then got to then I had when everyone left, I had a couple of items Sahi in the fridge while waiting. Then I got to the pub and had champagne, the bubbles, the sparkling.
You'd have everything.
Then got into the red. Scooted, a beautiful bottle of red. Then I had a coffee. I had a port with me coffee. Had a nice, beautiful port, a grandfather port or something. We went to the bar then. We had Scooty, the vodka, lime and sodas. And then we went home. Then we went home, yeah. I think it was outstanding. Walt counted 7 variations. I made sure I took a few Panadol before I went to bed.
I'm tipping DK was Dusty Star the next day. All right, Manscaped, that was the first thing I did when I come home. I just gave the whole body a bit of a clip. So the lawnmower is what you need to trim the hedges and spoil yourself and the missus at the same time. So get nice and smooth. I've got Hamilton Island coming up soon, so I'm going to do a full leg shave as well coming up just so I can fit in with the rest of the gang that I'm going with there. But this one's a good one too, the Weed Whacker. So nothing worse when you meet someone for the first time and they've got like the Belangolo State Forest just coming out of their nose hairs. It sort of wigs me out. So the Manscaped Weed Whacker.
Can we go back? I thought you were shaving down because you're going away with your missus. It's with the people you're shaving your legs because you're going away with dudes.
A couple of cyclists.
Oh, fair enough. Cyclists. Yeah, we'll call them that. Cyclists.
On Hamilton Island.
Yeah, fair enough.
Just get the legs out, get the tan and get the massages going. But the Weed Whacker's really good too. So Little Birdie's a code. In the manscaped.com site for 20% off. Going to be a big show. It's already a big show with Jackie Bruce. We've been talking for a while now. Tommy Henjak, I tell you what, no luck last week. He tipped up Blondo. He tipped the each of 2. Mass Destruction was scratch. Blondo was scratch. Blondo comes out and winning down at your way, Gosford. Just absolutely sickening. So he'll look at the Doomben 10,000 that's been moved from Doomben to Eagle Farm. Mugs Moral. There's been a bit of a rumour that he's been smuggled into the boot of Nat Hinckley's car on the way to Scone. So I think he'd be great company for the 2-day carnival up there. It's very hard to get accommodation in Scone. Walt, I remember we went the first time. We had to stay out at Singleton. And I'll tell you what, there was some sights at the Singleton pub.
Last time I did it was we couldn't get anywhere, and Tegan was going down to ride down there, so we jumped in the Winnebago.
Yeah.
Pikey, he's big boy. Tegan, not so big. Ben, myself. Ben snores worse than all of us put together in the Winnebago, in the Scone Caravan Park.
Oh, yuck.
Oh, it was world class. But no, it was good fun. Good fun.
Oh, leave me well out of that. TopSport Steamers are on fire. Hit the board with Dynasties. Black Booker, Walt wasn't on, 16 into $9. See you later.
God.
Yep. Beautiful. But Nico Noonan will have a quick look at Cranbourne and Flemington this Saturday. Just a reminder, TopSport upper limits on the Group 1 races. So if you like to swing bigger in those sort of races, TopSport will take you on. They don't shirk the task when it comes to taking a bet. Let's have a quick look at Cranbourne. Nico, race 5 you like here. It's the Silks Cranbourne Handicap over 1,200 metres. And it's odds courtesy of TopSport. I am absolutely not ready to read out the market, but I think your horse here, Nico, is the favourite, and that is Jigsaw at 245. And we've backed this before. We have backed this before. Sense of Humour is 480. Office Gym 550. Here's the real deal, $6. Releaser is $7.50. Rock in the Park $12. But let's have a look at Jigsaw first up.
Yeah, well, this is at Caulfield, and he's come back to Cranbourne. He's sort of midfield in the blue colours. Used to sort of sit on speed. Like last preparation, he led a few races, and then they've sat back here, and he's actually kind of shown something late. He's actually the fastest home in this race, fastest last 200 metres. It was a slowly run race, but he's ripped home like the third best last 200 of the entire meeting. And I thought he had a good improvement to come from this day in the yard. Horse I've seen, I think, nearly every start he's had in his career, and I thought it's probably the biggest I've seen him in condition, so I think he'll take good natural benefit out of this run. The horse inside him, Ice Pick Nick, is favourite for a race on Flemington on Saturday. Scissor Step was well backed out of that race sort of last Saturday as well, and now he comes all the way back to Cranbourne. I would have thought if he had a progressed, the race is still on Saturday, you'd be sort of keen to back him at sort of $5 plus. He is short here, $2.45, but dead set. There's nothing in the race. Like, I honestly couldn't find a danger. If he doesn't win, he's never going to win another race, I wouldn't think. Sense of Honour got beat 40 lengths last start at Randwick, and her first up run I thought was average behind some average sort of 1,000-metre horses. Then you're looking at Realiza, who's sort of was average last start at Sale. Office Jim, who's coming off Morphettville form. And Jigsaw's just sitting here at 250. Like, he nearly won a listed race last prep. He had all this sort of great form. He's never going to probably live up to what he did in his 2-year-old days, but dead set. This is like a benchmark 78 at Cranbourne. Like $2.50. I thought it should more be like $1.70 or something like that. It is one of Michael Walker's first rides back.
Cuzzy bro's back.
So you have to factor that in a little bit. But this is his horse. Like he rode it in all its jump outs into this prep. Reading articles and that, it sounds like he's come back better than ever, Michael Walker. Like he said in his body, he said he's feeling great. So
Stacky's back today too, is he? So I think
so there's a few sort of coming back, but that's probably your only reservation, how fits Walker and the decisions he's got to make here. I think it's going to be his third ride back, but he's a star jockey, and I'd sort of back him in sort of Group 1 class rider. $2.50, I was very surprised to see that price. Cindy, I think she's trying to double the other day at Sale.
She did. E. Brown.
Yep.
He's flying, E. Brown. I mean, he won that Group 1 on Monday, or whenever it was, Saturday.
Yeah,
Snap dancer. He's flying, that boy.
I think for her career, she goes at about 11%, and last 50, she's going at 16. So the stable's obviously going better. This is her banner horse.
It's her banner horse. Remember when isn't he right in the market for Blue Diamonds and things like that when he was a 2-year-old?
Second or third favourite of Blue Diamond. So $2.45 here. Like, if he can't win this, he dead set won't win another race. So I thought this could be a nice little kick-off to the weekend.
I do get a little bit scaredy cat when you got a horse that comes out, runs well, let's say a Caulfield, and then goes back to somewhere like Cranbourne. Like, over time, it just looks too
price, though. If it come up 2s on, you wouldn't care. If you think, for 6 to 4, it should be $1.70. Yeah. It's a bit different, but I know what you mean.
Well, it does scare.
That was a Vobus Gold Day too. So that was, big incentives to run on that day in town.
Sometimes I just get a bit nervous that maybe they've taken a backward step somewhere, because they should be sort of keep jumping the bar. But I don't know. That's just the naysayer in me. But I hope you're right, Nico, on the $2.50.
Don't grey up.
It's just
don't grey up. You can't grey up when you're
no grey ups.
Don't grey up. Don't grey up. I've never heard Nico that pumped for anything. That was maybe since Friday night, but
not allowed to talk about it.
You're not allowed to talk about it. Sorry.
Not allowed to talk about anyone's love life.
Oh, strange. Not allowed
Can't talk about posters that people have up in their room.
Toilet doors. No.
Posters in room.
Toilet doors.
Well, I tell you what Walt's doing right now. He's watching some people pull out cards and tear open cards on his phone.
I'm not watching them tear open cards. I'm watching them sell cards, mate.
That is
just in case.
weird.
I don't want to let bargains go by.
Mate, grow up.
Found another passion, he has. Found another passion.
It's
no passion.
Andrew Ramsden Stakes Day at Flemington. We've got Warning in that kicking off in the 2,800 metre race.
Can we talk about that race for a
odds.
second? The Ramsden, you get a free ticket into the Melbourne
That's
Cup.
right, yep.
And
Yep.
Splendiferous
Like,
is
who's-
probably Splendiferous.
Splendiferous won at Sale 2 starts ago. Like, is this
What's
working?
going on with that horse, mate? Well, it pulled its head off the other day, set outside the leader. They've gone 20 above and it ran away from it. What is going on with that
Willow.
horse?
Oh,
Good Willow.
Gaybot.
Look, I've heard mixed views on it, but I listened to Lee Jordan last night, and they're trying to get a rising or an up and coming 4 to 5 year old to give him a ticket into the race and make it exempt. So I mean, $500,000, I don't know about that, but anyway, but I can see what they're trying to do.
Yeah, I would have thought.
Everyone blues that we can't get spots in the race because the imports take them all. So I mean, they're trying to help in that regard.
So top of the market, Splendiferous 370, Point Nepean 390, Luncey 6, Through Irish Eyes $6, Warning $10, and Zoom on 15, and then English King 26.
It's got a long tail.
Big
It's got a long
rest.
tail.
Yeah. So it's a tricky
So
one.
it's the way those first few Point Nepeans are sort of. Yeah, he's a handy CEO. You know him well, Nico.
He's up and coming. Yeah, look, he's but like he's running his last two in sort of the benchmark grades. He's probably worth having a crack, but like, you know, compared to years gone by when we've had Surprise Baby and Steel Prince sort of going head to head in this race, it's not living up to that. I don't know if it's working, having it restricted, but
yeah. Regardless, anyway, what price is Steel Prince running in a Melbourne Cup? He'd be 50 to 1, 100 to 1, wouldn't he? You know,
not after he won. I think he might have won this race and run second, and then he went into that cup and he would have been well in contention, but I think he got scratched.
Oh, right, okay.
But
Yeah, he didn't run.
yeah,
Can't remember.
I would have
why.
thought the horse that wins this race is going to be absolutely no chance unless Point Nepean. He's the only horse in the race I can see that could even sort of get to like a Bart Cummings or something like that and be sort of in the game. But he's got to keep improving. But yeah, I don't know. That's sort of my thoughts there.
that is the wrong time. You're doing now coming into mid-May, you know. Pardon me, they're looking at making the Roy Higgins. Think about making the Roy Higgins similar, which is a better time frame, that race.
Makes more sense.
Right, we'll see what happens, but Warning seems a big price to my eye, just on first glance. Race 3, Flemington, is the Mahogany Challenge Series over 1,700, and Umgawa, 480 favourite here. Flash Feeling, 550, Sonora, 650, British Columbia, 7, Carlisle, $7, General Firepower, $7, Not a Brass Razoo, I know all about that, $13, Aka to Gali, $19, and Caillou Cushion is $19. General Firepower is the horse that Nico likes here from the all-conquering Michael Maroney yard of late.
Yeah, this was a nice barrier trial for him. Relative to 3-year-old Open Company, they've gone 16 points. Well, he's gone 16.6 lengths below to the 600-metre mark, and he's just had absolutely no chance the way this race was run. I was really taken.
First up here, was he?
No, he won at Cranbourne, then he got caught really wide at Caulfield Forgive. Then this was the run after that, and he charges to the line here, really making up good late ground. Like Carlisle sort of got away with this race. General Firepower, I had him on top from the yard that day. It was sort of the first time I've seen him since the spring. I was really taken by sort of the natural improvement he's made this preparation. I thought, well, if this horse is ever looking for something, it's probably Flemington. It's probably 1,700 metres, and he might need a set of blinkers. He gets all those things. He got Sax Payne to McNeil, sort of tick, 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 tick. He is out of some slowly run races, so I don't know what the market will necessarily do with him there. They may sort of take a set against him, but there's a few out of the same kind of race. Like, I would have thought his run was much better than the winners, Carlisle, and they're both sort of $7 each or two. British Columbia, they both ran in that Caulfield race together and finish out the back. British Columbia's come out of that race and won well since, so I think that's just sort of a guide to how hard it was to sit wide on that track that day. They've both come out and run well since, and then Umgawa's got to give them all 4 kilos, who's your favourite, and is probably a little question mark at 1,700. So a lot of ticks here with Maroney Camp absolutely flying. McNeil seems like he's back. Blinkers, $7. I thought you could definitely have something on.
I mean, he was a bit of a, not a hidden run, but I remember he was flashing light there at his first start and then come out and won a pack and him like a nice horse. And I hadn't seen him this prep though, but I saw that run there. And he's always had plenty of talent, that horse. Home track, Maroney, blinkers, ticks a lot of boxes, it sounds like to me, Nico.
Yep. Keen to get involved at 7s. Probably doesn't miss a place, but...
Nico, will you be at Cranbourne on Friday night? Will you do Mounting Yard Mail for Cranbourne and Flemington, or are you just going to do Flemington this week?
Just Flemington this Saturday. We'll get there. Honestly, feel like seeing them really well from the yard. We're finding all these horses at 20s, 50s, 60s, all running placings or top 4. So I feel like we found one yesterday at 17s, but I think we'll stiff not to find sort of 2 winners there. I feel like we're seeing them really well. So I'm keen to get there to Flemington on Saturday and pick the eyes out of it.
So $25 for Wednesday Metro and Saturday Metro, Mounting Yard Mail, and all via Telegram. So super simple to get involved there. Morphettville, Still no Bagman, no Eagle Kelton there on holidays. But the Adelaide Guineas, Elation, $1.35. Mick Price is talking Cox Plate, so that's an interesting one there. So we won't cover that race. $1.35 is a bit short.
Umgar was in that race. He's also the favourite in that race at Flemington. So it'd be good if he came out and ran here. You'd be just probably keen, a general firepower.
Of that confidence. The SA Derby is the big one. Allegron is $2.90. Detonator Jack, $4.20. Harley Movin'. That was Harley Movin' last start. Very quiet ride, $8. Jungle Magnate, $8. Commander Harry, $16. Yafet is $20. The Nephew, $26. St. Tropez, $31. And Clademir Moore, which is a weapon in some computer game, $34. And then much better the rest. Okay, thoughts here. We have got no replays, but I look at that market. I remember the weaving run that Allegron had, very quiet ride, Ollie, but it comes back in trip now. So it's 2,800 to 2,500 at the Derby. Walt's got his mouth open and just
is that
looking
the
at me.
worst Derby in the history of the world? No?
Detonator Jack's a
Seriously,
progressive little horse. I thought he had some upside still. He's been 460 to 420.
Leave this one to the experts. Too hard for me.
Jungle Magnate had it sort of put it on. Harley Movin' was quiet. Nico, have you got any insight here?
Oh, I think Detonator Jack's really smart going forward. I don't know if this will be his race, drawn 15, but he's won 3 from 3. Everything I've seen for him in the yard suggests he's a horse with a high quality, sort of oozes class about him when you see him, so it's no shock to see him get here. He's in the right stable. Johnny Allen's a master rider of these derbies, and especially over in South Australia, that's kind of where he got his name, wasn't it? Winning a few South Australian derbies with Weary. Look, Allegron's smart, but again, he's going to need a bit of luck here from Barrier 3. He's coming back from the Ledger, where it was a good win, but I think the horse kind of got Ollie out of trouble there. I would have thought Detonator Jack is like the most progressive 3-year-old we've seen recently in these sort of ranks, and if there's a horse that can topple Allegron who's got like the good Group 1 sort of form, it's probably him. I would have thought 2-horse race.
He's got turn of foot. I mean, that's his.
Yeah,
that's it.
Got himself out of trouble the other day. Like he was sort of back in the ruck, and Johnny was looking for runs, and then the gap came 200 out, and he still wins by a length and a half.
Slowly run race.
Soft, yeah.
So he can go to, if they run along. I mean, we'll really find out what he's made of now, but he can really elevate that horse. His 3 races have all been slowly run,
Yep.
Yet he still does what he does to win, and it's got the turn of foot and the quality. So, you can find out when they get in a solidly run race, they can really elevate those horses.
By Jacklebury for the breeding fans out there, and there's some very interesting runners in that race, and it's not just here, but over in New Zealand, horses are going for crazy money. So to ship them across, and it's going to be interesting to see if any of these horses head north and go to the Queensland Derby. An Oaks.
Well, you're still hoping for only one entrant in the Northern Territory Derby, so you can get the job done then. So as long as they're not going Northern Territory, you're happy.
Yes, I am happy. We'll see what happens there. Okay, let's start talking about Queensland racing, and I tell you another thing that's actually caught my eye through the news week. I couldn't click through the article because it was locked, but Shane Dye, he's on Hunchy's Honkers that they record weekly, and he's got a bit of an opinion about racing. He said that Jamie Carr needs to take more risks. I'll tell you what, I just had a bit of a flashback, and we'll play the vision of Jamie Carr steering Vega 1 to win in the, I think it was the Kingsford Smith or something like that. So she's back. She gets on heels a couple of times, and then she takes like an impossible gap. I don't know that Shane Dye must have a really short memory, but this ride was like a kamikaze pilot in the yellow there.
I'm just thinking about Shane Dye's references as giving life advice, and he was a heck of a jockey. There's no doubt about that, but risk management probably wasn't his specialty.
But have a look at her. So she's come across heels here, and then she takes a run to win the race that just basically isn't there. So I don't know much about.
Well, that's in isolation, but as a jockey, she rides them a pair closer rather than a pair further back, and to me, that's the definition of taking initiative. So I don't know what he's on about, but
clickbait.
Good luck to what's his name, Billy Idol.
Yeah. Well, that's the best thing. You click on it, and you can't go anywhere because you've got to subscribe to it. So I'm not sure how that.
That's all it was.
Going
clickbait.
forward.
No, she's one of the few jockeys in Australia to be very difficult to criticise at the moment. Surely, like there's plenty out there you could have a crack at, and she's not one of them. I
think what Walt says there too. The key is she gets them closer without them over racing because of her beautiful soft hands, and they travel for her. That's the key. A lot of them punch them out and they can get keen, but she finds the balance of the soft hands and the positioning run. That's why one of the reasons she's so good.
And that's why most jockeys have big runs of outs, because as soon as they do lose a bit of confidence, they go the pair further back, and she just doesn't do it. That's why she's so consistent and doesn't have the big long run.
The new goat, some are saying. Welcome, Tommy Turbo.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, I'm getting sick of those RaceNet IQ tweets and shit popping up on Twitter. Like, it is genuine clickbait, isn't it?
Is that CD Lamb or is that Tommy Turbo? I'm not sure who that is. Who's that?
Troy Aikman, I don't know. He's a big NFL man.
He's gone from the suit and tie to the thing now he's wearing NFL jerseys. Oh,
yeah. Dallas Cowboys.
He's a Cowboys man.
We mentioned it earlier. If you pick yourself up off the floor after Blondo's win down at Gosford, it would have cleaned them up at the Goldie, I would have thought. Horse in form.
It was painful walking out into the stands and watching Blondo win on the big TV at Gosford. Didn't even know it was in. So thanks, Walt, for the heads up.
Well, normally you do send me a quick message if you do like one up there and it travels down. Like, how's this thing going? I liked it up here and I didn't get it, so you left me out as well.
Yeah, but I didn't even know it was down there. I didn't even know it was running.
We had a
at
bit
Gosford.
on.
Mate, the whole of Waller's stable was running at Gosford, so they all ran around. Anyway, I wouldn't have found it. It was 27 back the fence and shot up the inside. It is a good horse on its day.
It's an interesting one, Doomben to Eagle Farm. That'd be the first time. It's usually the other way around, with Eagle Farm transferring to Doomben with their track problems over the last.
I'll leave this one to Tommy too, but
there's been a lot of rain up here, and people are saying the track's going to be wet at Eagle Farm. It'll dead set be a soft 5, and I'm not joking. It will be a soft 5 at worst.
He's not joking, fans. He's not joking.
Yeah.
He's looking out the window. I don't know what he's looking at, but he's not joking.
Yeah, well, it was pissing down here before, but...
Have you been getting life advice off DK? You sound more like DK every week.
Yeah,
he's very relaxed down, man. I tell you what, he's fully adapted. I think he's fully transitioned to this punter life. See you later, accountancy, and now he's super relaxed.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love the transformation.
Oh, the Tommy Turbo show at MacBet could be great viewing. Standalone show. Doomben 10,000. Let's have a look at the market at Eagle Farm. So you can throw all your history says and stats out the window for this one. Marzu's a favourite. Your horse, the Everest horse, $2.90. Favourite Kementari, rejuvenated this horse, $7.50. Count Rupee, no comment. $9.50. On Trev is, or on Trevi, I'm not sure how you say that one. $10. Isotope $11. Palelli $11. Generation $12. Rothfire is $15. Wow. Zoo Style $15. Menage $34. Johnny's horse, Shelby, $66, $41.
Wow.
Vega, $151. Baller, $61.
It's fit now.
Senior Fox, $81. And Alpine Edge, $81. It is absolutely insane. This horse just keeps going around. It is car crash waiting to happen. Isotopes, the replay you like here, Tommy, from Magic Millions Day.
Yeah, as we saw, I think we were on a away game this day. The big question mark with Isotope on Magic Millions Day was whether she would come back as good as what she was after the surgery and whatnot. And I think she put those rumours to bed in that race. She towed them up pretty easily, I thought. And I like the little freshen up here. I just think I'm kind of happy to bet around Marzu. I think the 290 is a bit short given... there's no doubt he's come back better this preparation after the gelding, but that last start run, I think he kind of had it to suit. I know it was a slow run race and it was hard to make ground that day at Randwick, wherever it was, but he started about 320 and Paul Ailey started 380, and I think they're a bit of a drag on each other. I really like the form that Isotope brings out of that. I think it was the Arrowfield last year's Arrowfield, where she ran second to Wild Ruler. Wild Ruler then went from that race into the Doomben 10,000 and was heavily backed against a horse called Eduardo. Wild Ruler pulled up with issues that day, but I just like Isotope here, the fresh blood. She's really adaptable. She's proved that she's back up to her best, and it does look a race with many a chance.
It's interesting, if you give her off a heavy start, start's a lot shorter than this. Failure last time.
Yes and no. It's an interesting, 10-1. Well, Marzu's probably the one you got to talk about because it's 2-1 off, 3 PRs in a row. Very small field the other day. He's in the Congo going any good. Before that, it's beaten what's that horse of Godolphin's, which is only I think she's going around in a listed fillies race on Saturday. This horse is coming up to weight for age off a break. I think the media's got hold of this 2-year, weird
It's the
decision
next Redzel.
Yeah, I'm not a big ratings person, and Tommy's probably across it more than me, to be honest, like most people are. But just plugging it into, a system, it looks like he's got to make up 5-6 lengths on a horse like Nature Strip to catch him. So why would you be locking this horse? And he is a horse on the up, but it seems like he's priced on, it being in an Everest or something. I don't understand why he's 2-1. He can win, but he's got to come up to get to horses like Kementari. And
the problem with this horse, he puts himself in the race and he does everything right.
So he makes his own PR.
Own luck.
Yeah,
So
he does. But it still has fallen his way perfectly. And you got to line that up with, 56 days off Isotope, 91 days off, 50 days Generation. The boys will know that horse better. It's got genuine Group 1 form down in Melbourne. And Kementari's probably got the best setup. Won at Eagle Farm, got wet form. I would have it favourite, and it's Kementari. So I think
It's scary.
Yeah.
Count the Rupee goes better on a dry track. So if it's going to stay in the soft 5 range, it's entertainable. And then you got, what do you do with Rothfire?
Yeah, well, Rothfire and Zoostyle look your leaders. And as what was saying, Marzu's got to make the jump here, and probably the highest pressure race it's ever seen. And to take 2-1 seems very skinny to me. And Rothfire, to me, it hasn't come back. When they put him under pressure, didn't find anything. He even had the track pattern suit a fortnight ago where he started $1.80 or whatever it was, and he couldn't get the job done. And I'm kind of binning that race as a rule. I thought Counter Rupee was absolutely blessed. And Kementari beat Counter Rupee last start, and they're a similar price here. Counter Rupee's got a bit of a pox on it given that last start run. I really like Kementari as well. I like where he's going to get to from the gate. I think Nash can just have him comfortable midfield, and he's definitely flying the horse, and he's just going to get run of the race, I feel.
Back to the future. Any idea here, Nico? It's a bit of a minefield, this one. I wouldn't be chipping up if I was listening at home in this race.
No, I think Turbo kind of nailed the race. I thought the most interesting part of the race is Zoo Style and Rothfire, like how fast they go and how much pressure that puts on Mizzou. Like if he actually finds the race that's, 8-9 lengths above here and not coming off, slowly run races where he's just got to dash up for 600, where that sort of leaves him. If he comes out and wins this and they do that, you go, okay, well, maybe he does deserve an Everest spot. If they do that and he gets beat comfortably, well, that's what he's going to have to face in an Everest, isn't it? So, look, I think it's probably the day to take him on, sort of 290. I couldn't really find much to beat him. I thought Generation's probably in there with a chance. Palele, I don't know, the 3-year-olds kind of look like they're well in contention. And then if you're finding older horses, you're probably marking them up to near their best, like Kementari on Triviere, Isotope. There are prices you can probably do that, but yeah, tough race.
Yeah, I couldn't, at a best, I could see Isotope definitely winning this one. All right, the other bet that you want to play is in race 9, the Bundy Rum, benchmark 85. No, Never No More's favourite here, $6. Paladas is $6, flexible $7. Roman Aureus is $8.50 acquitted, $9. Ulysses is $9. Then you got Aidensfield out at $14 and Better the Rest. Paladas in the same silks as Isotope is the replay you're going to have a look at. Worked really hard. And there it is, sort of punching 4 wide on speed there, Tommy.
Yep. So as I referenced before, this was a heavy inside day at Eagle Farm where you just had to be sucking up the inside. And this isn't the type of horse where you can kind of give it a dig early and get it into a position to find his best. He's a bit of a cat. So you kind of have to have those soft hands, give him the suck run and just expose him when he's comfortable. And as DK was saying before, with a jockey like Jamie Carr, she's so good at banging them out and then getting them to relax with their soft hands. Jim Byrne, although he's a really good rider, that's not really his forte. He's got, what do you say, like bricks for hands or something like that. Like with the softer gait, it's going to be a lot easier ride for him. And I just think that the 1400 Eagle Farm form for Paladas is really strong. And given what he had to do the other day, I think he's returned in really good order. In a race with a lot of chances. But I just feel that Paladas has got a little bit of upside to other horses in this race. And he's going to get the right suck run midfield, coming to the outside of the track, which is where you're going to want to be late in the day there. Also giving a small chance to Enterprise Prince. banged his head on the gates the other day over the mile, and he comes back to 1,400 here, 30-1. He's not hopeless, and either is More Sundays, who's found some form for Sam Kavanagh of all trainers.
Couple of little saver bets there. So $8.50 into $6 already, Paladas. How short could you expect this horse to be, or can you still take $6 confidently?
Probably about $6.50 is where I'd be comfortable. I think the market will come for Roman Aureus, as they kind of always do. It's a horse that's always off the map, and last start was an enormous run at Doomben. Larry was caught 3 wide, Sleepy Larry, and the horse went enormous. So I expect the market to probably come for Roman Aureus again, because he's going to get the right run. But Paladas for me, I'd be surprised. He'd probably stay about firm in the market, about that $6, I reckon.
All right. He's got a lot of confidence, Tommy. He's
yeah, we're going for the black soil double.
I like it. I wanted him to step into Star Tontes with the big. That is my ultimate nemesis horse that looks the most best placed horse in the world in race 4, and it's either going to be feast or famine. Now I wanted him to step into it a bit of the knife's edge dark side, but he's going okay.
340 into 280 Star Tontes in the race 4, the Stradbroke Calcutta.
Mug would have found it, I reckon.
1,400 metre race.
Would have stood out like dog's balls to Mug.
It's interesting. It's nice little setup. The Rough Habits there also, which is a good lead into the Derby, but might be a couple of trick shots there with depending on how the track plays. But Turbo, macbet.com.au is where they can find you, or if you're at the races, you can see him trackside. Go and pester him by the yard, Tommy Turbo.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be on the piss on Saturday, actually. So yeah, I won't be on the job. John's there doing it solo, so go annoy him instead.
Not me. He's John. What jersey you be wearing on Saturday, mate? What are you going to be rocking on Saturday?
No, I'll be suited up on Saturday. Back in the accounting gear.
All right. He's very casual now all of a sudden, Turbo Tommy, but don't let that fool you. Macbet.com.au is where you can get him and John's analysis. They do a fantastic service there at Macbet, as you can see from the streams. They've done pretty well betting into those. But good luck on the weekend, Tommy, and fingers crossed for the Isotope Paladas double.
Sweet. Thanks, guys.
All right, puntingform.com.au is the database that I love. It's the ultimate comparison tool. They've got class benchmarks, sectionals. You can compare all the different speeds, see who's got a turn of foot, and it's a cracker. You can get the systems builder as well that T-Dogs was talking about in the live stream, so you can see who's going well and see who you can give the lemonade to. All right, it's the Scone double. It's Friday into Saturday, and we're sort of running out of time, so we might just do one on Saturday, will we?
That's all right. You want to do Mug first so I can see what he's done? Or
No.
You're going to put him last?
You always go before him.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not going the same race as you.
Yeah, I'm very happy to do one race. It's going with the 20 fields and who knows what let's just do one day.
Okay, odds courtesy of TopSport, and they're sponsoring the highway, the TopSport Highway Handicap, Class 3 over 1,500 metres here, and the Dramatist, $4.80. Angelical is $6, Sung Blue $7.50, Orbital Express $9.50, Running Bear $9.50, Relucent $11, Keen Contributor $12, Cross Step $13, and you can get much better the rest. The Dramatist, the horses that we're going to have a look at here. It's in the line with the blue scouting really wide here.
So the fence, in Tommy Turbo language, was a dead set highway here this day. Like it was a fast 1.2 or something. It was quite insane. Nothing really came from back and wide. I think maybe one other horse might have run on. There was a horse in the staying race there the other day. I think it was called Dr. Evil, that absolutely flying coming into that meeting, made up about a length and got beat about 6, came out and absolutely trotted up at Canterbury since. And this horse came off a slow tempo, sat like wide, deep, pushed wider, powered through the line. I don't think it beat a lot, but he's just a horse considerably on the up. He's trained there. I'm hoping the big field holds up, as in I just would like to see a bit of pressure just to take any sort of guesswork out of it, because he is a horse that does have absolutely no early speed. So he's going to get back. He's going to be wide, and just hope that there is some genuine tempo in the race and watch him let go down the outside. I think he's a nice horse that could be lining up in country championships this time next year, no problem.
All right. Chip's in job race 1 at Scone, so you can build your bank early, and it's at 11:05. Gee whiz, I'll be just home from Little League there. It's 11:05 is that's an early
that's
start.
why it's hard, because especially you got wet tracks and things to deal with, massive scratchings. you basically got to rejig every race and then, kick off at 11. And this is in, it's not even carnival time. It's pretty crazy.
I'll tell you what, if you can find a way to Scone, it's tricky to get there. You got to fly into Newcastle, then it's a couple of hours drive, but it is one of the great carnivals to get to. Would love to get there one day and do a stream, or we might even...
The difficulty is getting there, but it is good fun once you're there.
Yeah, it is an absolute cracker. So put that on your bucket list of places to go. Scone Cup is an absolute beauty, and make sure you book your accommodation nice and early. That's half the problem with a lot of these country tracks. Like you just have to
especially 2 days.
Lock it in 11 or 10 months prior. So if you're thinking about going to the Bull next year, you got to start hunting around for it now or within the next sort of month, because if you leave it to, say, August, you're pretty much shot in the water for a place like the Bull. So you just got to get super organised. Otherwise, you're in the camper van with Walt and Tegan and Pricey. So that doesn't sound like my cup of tea.
It's all right. We stay warm, mate. That's the main thing. We stay warm.
I've been in worse predicaments, to be honest. Racingwatch.com.au is for more of Johnny's action, so you can get his full set for the Scone. It's probably 2-day carnival, so I'm tipping he's going to find a lot of bets and angles there and some good analysis. So, as we say, we're coming off all these really poxy tracks and some weird conditions. So, John's the right sort of guy to help you find that. But another bloke that provincial might not be his go, but he might have better luck this time, Mugs Morrill, heading to Scone.
Hi guys, Mugs Morrill this week takes us to the beautiful Hunter Valley of New South Wales, to Scone, to race 8, the Dark Jewel Classic over 1,400 metres. The Mug is going with Brooks Spire. It didn't like the first up run at Hawkesbury. I reckon that was just a trial for this race. Its second up form is 4 starts for 2 seconds, but over the distance, it's 4 starts, 3 wins and 1 third. Jay Ford drops in weight 3 kilos, barrier 12. It'll probably come in with scratchings on the day with rain heading up the Scone. Looks a good bet, and the Mug's Morrill. And the Mug also likes another thing on the weekend in race 2 in the midway over 1,700 metres. The Mug likes race 2, number 11, Outlook. The Mug was following this horse last prep. It ran good first up at Warwick Farm over 1,600 metres. It kept trying. It looked like it needed more distance. Second up is 3 starts, 1 win, 1 third. It looks primed and ready to win. 16 up to 1,700. The run was good last start, so let's get on it. So the Mugs Morrill this week is race 7, number 15, Brooks Spire. And the Mug also likes race 2 in the midway, number 11, Outlook. So good luck. I'm back next week with Metropolitan Racing. Thank God we're back in the city. These holidays kill the Mug. We're back at the Mug's home track next week at Rosehill. And what does the Mug say when we find a winner? Go find your bookie. Good luck.
Tell you what, nothing worse than wearing the white shorts playing footy. You want to be in your home deck and full of confidence there. But correction there, race 8:15 is Brooks Spire. That's his first one.
I think you're better off running with race 7, number 15, to be fair. But anyway, I don't like fire. I just wanted to get him G'd up on Twitter, just to see what he does. So we'll just fire a little shot at Mug and see what happens.
There's it's a tricky little race, the Dark Jewel. You got Legay Soleil, Never Talk. You got Majestic Shot Fractional, and then Wonderbar. I don't like some of those horses are just ultra consistent. Legay Soleil, Never Talk,
and then Wonderbar. Race you could find in the 2 days for mine, but I'll be cheering hard for the Mug.
And a horse like Majestic Shot as well, with the singing jockey on it as well. And then in race 2, he liked the thing of what is it? Brad Widdop's $7.
Is it? That's not a bad price. Went good first up, but another competitive race.
He's starting to fish in more adventurous waters around his pricing, isn't he? So he's...
Yeah. He's fishing.
It's not moral pricing, is it? $7?
It's all about setups. It's all about the setups.
Where was the even money chance?
That's it. That's his.
So he's got to get the lemonade. The race number. Trying to find the race number and the horse number every time's like pulling teeth, mate. Please,
mate. He might have seen 7. He might have been looking at it upside down. He might have thought it was a 2.
That's going to be on for young and old. We still need to set that one up.
Yeah,
Mug
anytime.
versus
I can't
Wild.
wait. I just as long as the
I hope he beats
as long as
you.
you set. So do I. As long as you set the structure and we have a bit of fun, I'll be more than happy to do it.
2 banks, 20 grand each. Go whack.
I don't know
head-to-head.
about banks.
I would love.
I don't know
for
about
him
cash
to
involved.
beat you.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
I'll
I
be
think some
helping
sort
him.
of prize or something.
I'll tell you
put
what,
it up.
It'll be a hot go because every punter on the planet's going to slide in and help.
That's
him.
all right. Oh, you can do that if you want, or maybe I
It's a
can
bit
use
raw.
Scooter for Mug so he doesn't have to walk.
Last week, the TopSport Big Bets landed dynasties. There was a monkey at $16. Great shopping start at $9. And the other one was a car crash. I know all about it. Extremely lucky. Mark Zara was on it, and it's still looking for a way out. So the TopSport early money has been around the mark lately. So make sure you write them down and not back them like I do. Eagle Farm Race 2, number 8, Diamil, $1,505.
So it's in up there. It's in its going too.
Mm.
I think it's second or third emergency it's going. I don't know which way it'll go. And I think it's on the backup. It ran at Gosford the other day. So
Yep.
interesting to see where it ends up.
This is the Derby, race 8, number 13, Clademere Moore, 200 at $41. I think in Fortress or Fortnite or one of those online computer games, that's what it is. It's a sword in there.
It's a strange one to make the steamers, isn't it? 200 at 40s. It's a bit of a weird. It could be a bloke who just likes his Fortnite that's just decided to chip up.
I thought, because you've got that horse R&T.
Yeah.
I just looked at this and I thought, what? I can't work this out. And then I looked at the second word first, and I thought it was like more chlamydia, and they were trying to put in like a funny word.
You've got a lot of issues. I mean, do you see a kinesiologist? Do you see anyone for these issues?
I need the drums.
You're seeing that name there, and you're coming up with more chlamydia.
We'll have a look at it. It's Clydemere Moore. So it's like more chlamydia backwards.
Yeah, for sure. DK, we're all gone here, mate.
I don't think that horse can beat the couple in the top of the market there, but there might be a roughie that jumps out of the ground, and the Derby that can run a nice place. Hopefully, it's it for whoever backed that. Flemington Race 2, number 6, Aaron Moore, $350 at $11.
That's a Waller horse, yeah. Come down there, Nico.
I don't even know who it is, so that's how well I'm travelling at the
It
moment.
ran second or third on that day at Canterbury where it was absolutely ridiculous. And that what's the horse called? American President went to the outside fence. It was in that race, but he's sort of been plugging a bit here. But sometimes Waller does it very well. That switch, doesn't he?
And the favourites come out, so there's 41-cent deductions in there. So the punter taking that bet's going to be not sitting on the 11s.
Yeah, commands a field. Ravage Award, Miss Melbourne, no way ever. That's the field there. But I think that's a bit of a wrap from the show. Is anything else that you want to tell us, Nico?
Nothing from me.
You
Just
sure?
Chip away, find a few winners this weekend, and we'll go from there.
Doctor Strange, not tipping.
Was it good?
I wouldn't tip it. No,
It was watchable, wasn't it? I went and saw it the other day too. It was watchable, but it's not memorable.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to describe it.
Yeah, and the trailers for Top Gun were the highlight. The trailers pre-movie
for
for
the
Top
next
Gun.
Top
Yeah,
Gun.
that got me more fired up than the Doctor Strange movie itself.
You'll have to go watch the Northman. Well, that might be up your sort of angle.
Put that on the list.
See what's back this week, DK, Monday.
Please, give me something.
Your favourite sort of tracks.
I know Casterton Sunday.
It's a synthetic.
Oh, synthetic's back.
Synthetic's back for you. So there's something.
All right, well, that's all right. That's all right. And it started with the 2-year-olds. The 2-year-olds saw the first 2-year-old against the older the other day, so maybe we can get going something rather than back in these. I should be wearing T-shirt round. I back camels. One of these to get them made. Where Walt gets his T-shirts done.
I call it default bets. That's it. The default bets when they're the least camel of the camels. Yeah,
One or two humpers.
Yeah, exactly. The only one you go. This is a one humper up against two humpers. Up you go.
Britannicus is in. He pulled up really well from the Briley, and he's in with a late nomination if the track stays dry at Casterton on Sunday. So he might give that a shake. Hopefully, we just keep putting him to the front and he turns right instead of left.
It's a great show, the Casterton Jump Races, the live hedges in the open country. It is a great spectacle.
Anyway, happy to bury last week, and fingers crossed he can go one better this week. But that's a wrap from us. Make sure you check out Jack Bruce Racing. If you want to get in a horse, jump on board. Walt gives him a big tick of approval. Walt doesn't say many nice things about many people, but if he's tipping Jack Bruce, he must have some sort of ability. So
I'll be in shock, mate, if he doesn't kick. I just love everything that he brings to racing. He's got a bit of hunger, he's got a bit of ability, which helps, and he's going to make everyone have a good experience, hopefully, and that's what it should be all about.
All right, that's a wrap from us. Make sure you subscribe to Little Birdie TV. We're on Spotify or at the Apple Store, and download the app. Get around DK and Nico's tips if you want to back a winner. Walt's got the Racing Watch stuff, and MacBet as well.
This time of year, it's tough.
All right. Hopefully we found you a winner for this weekend. Good luck on the punt.